Two versions of the same man, same city, same income, completely different lives. In the first version, he's sitting in a 720 square foot apartment in Phoenix, back pressed against a gray fabric couch, phone glowing in the dark. It's 11:42 p.m. His banking app is open, so is his credit card statement, so is the calculator. Income, $5,200 a month. Minimum payments, $1,180. A $28,000 SUV sits outside in the parking lot, quiet under a flickering streetlight. Inside, a $2,400 Peloton bike leans against the wall, used just enough to justify not selling it. 6 subscriptions auto-renew in the background. Then the dashboard lights up earlier that day, check engine. Estimated cost, $600. He doesn't book the repair, he searches, how long can you drive with check engine light on? Not because he's broke, because he has no margin. Now the second version, same apartment, same job, same paycheck, but no debt. The check engine light comes on, he schedules the repair before dinner, doesn't think twice, doesn't open a calculator, doesn't negotiate with reality. Because he's not reacting anymore, he's choosing. Same man, same income. One lives inside his numbers, the other uses them. People think income determines stability. It doesn't. There are households in America earning $120,000 a year who still hesitate before spending $400. Not because they lack money, because every dollar is already assigned. Rent pulls first, car payment follows, insurance, utilities, subscriptions, each one takes its slice. What's left isn't freedom, it's residue. This is the quiet trap. From the outside, everything looks solid. Clean apartment, late model SUV, Amazon packages at the door twice a week, but under the surface, the system is fragile. A single unexpected expense, a $600 repair, a $900 medical bill, a week without income, doesn't create a problem. It exposes one that was already there. High income with debt creates a strange contradiction. You earn enough to look stable, but not enough to act freely. So decisions shrink. You don't negotiate your salary because you can't risk tension. You don't leave the job because you need the next paycheck exactly on time. You don't invest because your cash flow is already spoken for. It's not a lack of discipline, it's structural. When every month starts with $1,000 plus already owed, your life is no longer flexible. It's pre-committed. And once your future income is pre-committed, your choices are no longer yours. Debt is not a bill, it's a system. More specifically, it's a subscription on your life. Most people understand subscriptions in small numbers: $19 for Netflix, $12 for Spotify, $49 for a gym membership. You sign up once, and every month money leaves quietly in the background. Debt works the same way, just larger and more permanent. A $4,200 credit card balance at 24% APR isn't just a number on a statement. It's a recurring withdrawal from your future income. Every month, whether you think about it or not, it takes priority. Add a $540 car payment, a $210 personal loan, a few minimums across cards, and suddenly you're not earning $5,200 anymore. You're earning what's left after your past decisions get paid first. That's the part most people miss. You're not buying things with debt, you're pre-selling your future time to pay for them. And once enough of that future is sold, your present becomes constrained. You hesitate, you delay, you optimize around obligations instead of opportunities. Because every subscription reduces margin, and margin is where freedom lives. Remove the subscriptions and something unexpected happens. Your income doesn't change, but your life does. Put the numbers on a table, make them visible. A $1,099 iPhone, a $2,495 Peloton bike, a $3,200 sectional couch, and a $28,000 SUV sitting outside on warm asphalt. On paper, that's roughly $34,800 in purchases. Tangible. Easy to point at. What you don't see is attached to each item. Take a typical balance, $6,500 on a credit card at 22% APR. If you follow the default path, minimum payments, you don't just repay the $6,500. You add roughly $9,000 in interest over time. That turns a single purchase stack into $15,500 paid. But the real damage isn't the interest. It's what that interest replaces. That same $9,000, invested at a modest 8% annual return over 18 years, compounds to roughly $32,000. Not hypothetical, just math. So the true cost of carrying that $6,500 isn't $15,500. It's closer to $47,500 when you include what the money could have become. Debt doesn't just charge you once, it charges you twice, on the way out and on the way up. Multiply that across millions of households, and you get the pattern: visible consumption paired with invisible erosion. You keep the objects, you lose the growth. And over time, growth is what separates motion from progress. You don't get out of debt with motivation, you get out with a system. Start with the simplest move most people avoid. Write everything down, every balance, every APR, every minimum, not an estimate, the exact number. A $4,200 card at 24%, a $2,300 card at 22%, a $19,800 auto loan at 7%. When the numbers are vague, the problem feels infinite. When they're precise, it becomes mechanical. Next, create space. Pull your last 90 days of transactions. Strip out rent, utilities, insurance, gas, groceries. Everything else is negotiable. Most households will find $200 to $500 hiding in plain sight: subscriptions, delivery fees, impulse Amazon orders. You're not cutting your life, you're reclaiming it. Then choose a method: snowball if you need momentum, avalanche if you trust math. Either way, you commit. Automate everything. Minimums leave your account the day after your paycheck. The extra payment leaves the same day. No decisions, no delays. Cut access to new debt. Freeze the cards, lock them away. You cannot drain a system while it's still filling. Track progress visually. A number shrinking on paper rewires behavior faster than any advice. This is not discipline, this is architecture. Look at what you're actually paying for. A $2,495 Peloton bike in the corner of a 700-square-foot apartment. Used 14 times. That's $178 per ride, not counting the monthly membership quietly renewing in the background. A $28,000 SUV parked outside. Payment, $540 a month. Insurance, another $180. Gas, $150. You drive 9,000 miles a year, mostly commuting the same 8-mile route. That's roughly 80 cents per mile to sit in traffic on the way to a job you don't feel free to leave. 3 food delivery orders a week. Average ticket, $28 after fees and tip. That's $336 a month, over $4,000 a year, enough to wipe out more than half of a typical credit card balance. Individually, each decision feels small, manageable, justified. Collectively, they form a system that keeps you exactly where you are. Now flip it. Sell the Peloton for $1,200. Cut delivery to once a week. Save $200 a month. Cancel 3 subscriptions. Another $60 to $90. Suddenly, you're not looking for extra money. You've already been spending it. The objects didn't trap you, the patterns did. Debt is not just financial pressure, it's biological. When you carry balances, your brain never fully powers down. There's a constant background calculation running: what's due, what's late, what's at risk. You don't hear it, but your body does. Cortisol stays elevated. Not a spike, just a steady drip. That changes behavior. You avoid conversations that could create tension. You delay decisions that carry risk. You stay in roles longer than you should because stability feels safer than progress. From the outside, it looks like caution. Underneath, it's constraint. This is why most people don't fail because they lack information. They fail because their nervous system is overloaded. Now look at the 2 payoff methods. The snowball method works because it creates early wins. A $2,300 balance disappears in a few months. That zero triggers dopamine. Dopamine reinforces action. Action builds consistency. The avalanche method is cleaner on paper. It targets the 24% APR first. It saves more interest over time. But behavior doesn't run on spreadsheets. It runs on feedback. If you failed before, it wasn't a math problem. It was a momentum problem. And momentum is emotional before it is logical. Week 1 is uncomfortable. That's the point. You sit down with your statements and map everything. 4 columns: name, balance, APR, minimum. The total might be $40,000. It might be $60,000. Seeing it all at once will feel worse for about 24 hours. Then something shifts. The problem has edges now. Within the same week, you cut friction. Cancel 3 subscriptions. Reduce delivery orders. Identify at least $300 in monthly cash flow. Set up automatic minimum payments on every account. Then set one more automatic payment, the extra, targeting your first debt. Month 1 through 3 is about traction. You sell 5 items you haven't used in a year: old electronics, a spare TV, kitchen gear still in the box. You generate $400 to $800 and send it directly to the balance. Not savings, not spending, reduction. By month 6, the first debt is gone. A $2,300 card hits zero. The payment that used to service it, say $347 a month, doesn't disappear. It rolls forward. Now the next balance gets hit harder. Somewhere between month 6 and 8, motivation dips. Progress feels slower. This is expected. You don't adjust the system, you let the system carry you. By year 2, the numbers start moving faster than your effort. That's when people realize this was never about intensity. It was about direction. Debt doesn't exist in isolation. It creates a loop. The destructive version is quiet at first. You carry a balance. Interest accumulates. Cash flow tightens. That pressure leaks into decisions. You choose convenience over intention. Another $28 delivery order, another subscription you don't cancel, another small charge that feels harmless in the moment. The balance doesn't drop, it stabilizes, then it grows. Stress increases, sleep worsens, you avoid looking at statements because the number hasn't changed enough to feel like progress, so the system continues unchallenged. Debt right arrow, stress right arrow, short-term decisions, right arrow, more debt. Now flip the direction. You eliminate one balance. It's small, maybe $2,300, but it hits zero. That matters. The payment attached to it, $300 plus a month, gets redirected. The next balance falls faster. Progress becomes visible. Visible progress builds confidence. Confidence changes behavior. You start questioning purchases. Not out of restriction, but clarity. You notice patterns you didn't see before. Debt decreases, stress drops, decisions improve, money compounds. The same mechanism that trapped you begins working in your favor. Not because you changed everything, because you changed the direction. At some point, the numbers stop being the focus. Not because they're small, but because they've already done their job. The balances are gone. The payments are gone. The background noise is gone. There's no calculation running when you open your bank app. No hesitation when something breaks. No negotiation with yourself before making a decision. From the outside, nothing looks dramatic. Same apartment, same grocery store, same daily routine. But internally, the structure is different. You're no longer organizing your life around obligations. You're organizing it around choices. That's the shift most people miss. Wealth is not the car in the parking lot, not the square footage of the house, not the visible markers that can be compared. Those are outcomes, sometimes they're distractions. Wealth is quieter. It's the ability to walk away from something that doesn't serve you. To say no without calculating the cost. To say yes without asking for permission. It's time, space, and margin. And margin is what debt quietly takes until you take it back.